UFC 306 wrapping up. I did go 9 for 10 on my picks. A really good day for me. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna overreact because I do this, a lot. This isn't very new to me. I'm very good and accurate predictor. I put a lot of time and effort into this, so I expect to get a lot of picks right. But yes, I'm gonna give myself some credit. I did, I went a little crazy. Come on, but look, I did pick. I only did 9 predictions for this card on my predictions video, but I did 10. I did do 10 on Tapology. I just didn't get to the Norma Dumont fight, but I watched after, and I just wanted to get my predictions out on Tuesday or Monday, or whenever it was. So yeah, that's just it. I'll put a screenshot here so you can see I did pick Norma Dumont to win. But yeah, man, look, this card was incredible, man. I look, the expectations for me weren't that high, but it delivered more. I mean, we had some fucking incredible fights. And yeah, I'm just gonna get right into it. So yeah, Raul Rosas gets the decision win versus Arichi Lang. If I'm being honest with you here, I really didn't think Raul looked great, especially on the feet, man. Arichi Lang, to me, I talked about him previously. Arichi Lang's a good striker. He hits hard. He really does hit hard. I really think he has some pretty heavy hands. I could tell Raul didn't like that immediately. He really didn't like the heavy hands of Arichi Lang. Took him down in the first round, controlled him. Advanced position, looked fantastic on the ground, per usual. I always expect that out of him. Then you go to the second round. A bit of a shaky round, man. He was very tentative to exchange on the feet, very patient, and kind of got pressured by Arichi Lang, as was Arichi Lang, not really throwing too much due to the fact that if he got taken down, he ain't getting up. Look, in this fight, I expected Raul to be better on the feet. He wasn't. I expected Arichi Lang to be better with the stuffing takedowns. He wasn't really. He stuffed like 2 or 3 in the second round, but it wasn't like a full-on, really good takedown and a good takedown attempt. So, Raul comes out, gets it in the third, and entertains the crowd per usual. Great job by him. But yeah, it makes me a little nervous. He called out a top 15 opponent. Like, we're not doing that. Personally, I don't even think Raul Rosas would beat, Pedro Munoz, who is just outside the top 15. He doesn't even beat Pedro. So he still has a long way to go. The striking was not impressive to me. I've seen him hit pads. He looked great hitting pads. And the striking seems to be improving, but there it didn't look great. The shots were loopy. The kicking game was slow. The punches were slow as well. A little nervous for Raul when it comes to the striking, but dude, look, the guy is legit younger than me. He has a lot of time to develop. Keep going slow with him. He still, like I said, has a lot of time to develop. He's not ready for top 15, especially like with the performance like that. Because to me, his grappling, I do believe it is top tier. But if he can't get the takedown, what is he going to do against a guy per se like Pedro Munoz, who is just outside of there? I don't think Pedro, is he going to outstrike Pedro Munoz? I don't really think so. So personally, I think it's a little too early to be talking about top 15 for Raul. But look, nonetheless, good win for Raul. Got my first pick right, so that's a good one. Joshua Van gets the decision over Edgar Chairez in a absolute barn burner of a fight. Look, I couldn't have called it better. Dude, to me, Joshua Van, extremely slow starter on the feet once again, but he does it every time. I should have fucking live bet him because he does this shit all the time and then he comes back and win the fight. First round, uneventful. Chairez was killing that calf and he looked good. But coming into this fight, like I said, I went back to the regional to watch who Edgar Chairez has fought, whatever, watch his tape. I know he doesn't like body shots. I know he doesn't like pressure. I knew he would, fold eventually. And we got to see that in the second round. And, Joshua Van broke him pretty much. And then a bit of a problem. Edgar Chairez threw the most telegraphed spinning back fist of all time. I mean, look, I was watching here and I could see the dude like this. Like, what the hell is he going to do? Obviously, he's going to spin, but in the moment, obviously, Joshua Van's going to want to go for the finish and get aggressive. He got overly aggressive and, he got caught and eventually, went back to the ground. Joshua Van controlled him for that round. The third round, we saw Joshua Van go out there, do some more of that body work, hurt Edgar again. And then we saw some wrestling from Van. Look, Edgar Chairez gets back up to his feet, and Joshua Van does some very interesting technique, and he goes for an ankle lock, I believe it was. Personally, I don't think that was the best decision, but Joshua Van figures it out, controls Edgar Shirez. Edgar was going to gas. I talked about his gas tank. I talked about the body shots. Knew it was going to happen. Joshua Van comes out there and gets the win. As for Joshua Van, look, he's fought a lot, taken a good amount of damage last two fights. I think it's best for Van to take a year plus off. I don't think he needs to come back anytime soon. I know he wants to, but I think it's what's best for him. I really hope his coaches influence him and give him the right advice because, man, this guy is so talented. He's only 22 years old. He's just outside the top 15. There's no reason to come back. Just take your time off. You've taken a good amount of damage past two fights that were short duration between the fights. I think Joshua Van needs to take a little bit of time off, but a very good performance and what I expected from Van. I don't like the dropping of the first round, but he looked great, man. I love watching this kid fight. Kid fight. He's older than me. My bad. I love watching him fight. He's a great fighter, great body shots, nasty body shots. And like I said, just a little bit of time off. We'll see him back. He'll definitely be a guy in the top 15. So, yeah. Yasmin Juriguay gets fucking slept and choked out cold by Ketlin Souza. So if I'm going to be blatantly honest, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of women's fights. I didn't watch any tape. I'm gonna let it out the box here. I didn't watch anything. I saw the odds. I jumped at the odds for my prediction video. I did go back and watch, of course, because I want to get my Tapology picks right, as the same that I do for Irene Aldana and Norma Dumont. But look, Yasmin was trying to exchange in the pocket. I don't know why. She's been rocked a couple times before. She got caught with a big-ass left hook, got down, and, bro, Ketlin Souza jumped on her fucking back. I thought it was Charles Oliveira for a second, man. She was right on that shit and strangled her out cold. Yeah, man, I'm very upset because as you guys know, I'm not a huge women's fight enthusiast, as other people are. I think, anyone can win. But when it comes to the higher level fights, I think I can have a good read on those fights. But when it comes to the lower level ones, man, I really just flip a coin. But look, man, it is part of the game. I made the prediction. It's on me. If I want to sit here and, predict only men's fights, especially for this card, it would have kind of thrown the purpose away, right? But yeah, that was a crazy choke, man. I have a lot of respect. That was a nasty choke. And good finish by Ketlin Souza. We'll see what's next for her. My boy Ignacio Bahamondes getting that round 1 KO over Manuel Torres. What a performance, man. Just a stunning, beautiful performance from Ignacio Bahamondes. If you were to ask me if I expected that, I would have said no. But when I look back at it, I think, man, damn, I talked about this. Manuel Torres hasn't fought anybody, man. Anybody good. Anybody. We're talking about who? Chris Duncan? Nicholas Mata. Man, those are some elite fighters. Yes, he dismantled him in the first. Chris Duncan was able to crack him. I think I went back to the Ignacio side and I saw, the level of competition he's faced. And Ignacio's only getting better, man, and he just showed it. Them boys at Valley Force, man, they put that work in, man. Him and Bilal putting that work in. Ignacio looked fantastic, man. And I love to see that. A tall, rangy striker getting it done easily, man. I love that. Just a nasty fallback counter right twice. And Manuel Torres is in la-la land because he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Coming forward, slips back. Did the same shit twice. Manuel Torres pretty much gave up in that fight. I mean, look, right after it was a TKO, he stood up right up and shook Ignacio's hand. He wasn't even, out. He kind of just gave up. And that, to me, man, that's not what Mexicans are about. And I think the Mexican people are going to be very upset with him because he gave up. Personally, I think he gave up. He was getting countered to hell. He was eating body kicks, eating head kicks. And just a flawless performance for Ignacio Bahamondes. This guy deserves a shot at the top 15. The only loss, I believe, Madesi, which that doesn't count, man. And Ludovic Klein, who we know, great fighter. I've talked about Ludovic Klein before. I think he's the best prospect at lightweight. Ludovic Klein's crazy. But yeah, man, Ignacio with that performance, man, the way he looked, bro, no adversity from Manuel Torres at all. Nothing coming back his way that he couldn't handle and knocked him the fuck out with a beautiful right hand twice. And like I said, Manuel Torres is in la-la land and he doesn't know how to fight, I guess, because he did the same shit twice. And just a beautiful step back, like the O'Malley Aljo, similar to that. And a great win for my boy Ignacio Bahamondes. Norma Dumont gets the win over Irene Aldana. Look, I didn't break this down in my predictions video because I didn't have the time to get to it. I wanted to get the video out quicker. I eventually, when I watched the film, I did pick Norma Dumont. So another one right. I'll post the screenshot. I did it on Tapology. Is pretty much the only evidence I have. If you want to look my shit up, it's R Parks with the Q, same shit. So you can do that if you'd like. But anyways, yeah, Norma Dumont just outstruck Irene Aldana. To me, Irene Aldana is slow. She doesn't hit hard. She doesn't do anything great. I don't think both these fighters aren't that good in my opinion. I thought Norma Dumont, she headbutted her and landed that cut. That cut was fucking insane, man. Absolutely one of the worst cuts I've ever seen in my life. It was a brutal cut, and look, I picked Norma Dumont to win this by a decision. She gets it done by a decision, and another good pick for me. Ronaldo Rodriguez beats Ode Osborne to a decision. Man, I'm sorry, I have to state this. I picked, Ronaldo Rodriguez via a round 3 finish, and I bet on it, and it was very good odds, and barely, man, barely. But dude, Ode landed a picture perfect, I believe it was a right hook, maybe, on Ronaldo when he caught a kick and dropped him, sat him down bad. That fight could have been stopped right there. I do believe, he got punched and he was out multiple times, but he got back up. Controlled Ode, and crazy ass fight, man. Ronaldo is durable as shit. But yeah, I talked about in my breakdown video how I said I was like Ronaldo's going to drop the first round. To me, I watch Ronaldo. He's very slow in the first round. He doesn't really throw that much, and he kept kicking for some reason. And you can't kick against a guy who's longer than you one and much faster than you. So you can't do that. Anyways, Ronaldo, gets a win, man. It was a very dirty and Mexican style fight, if I shall say. A dirty win, hard fought. Very, he's a good guy. He's a good fighter, man. I would like to see him throw his hands a little bit more. I think he was a little worried, but he got Ode down and so close to finishing in the second. And I thought by the second, I was good for the third round because Ode was tired. I got so close, man. So close so many times. I don't even want to speak about it, man. But what a win for Ronaldo Rodriguez. Fought a lot of adversity. And like I said, I was, a little worried for the first round. I didn't think Ode would drop him or hurt him that bad, but he did. And I knew that Ode would win the first round, but I didn't believe in Ode's gas tank. And I thought Ronaldo was going to pressure him. I didn't think the wrestling of Ronaldo would have been as effective as it was, and it was very effective in this fight. He pretty much won the fight due to his wrestling and jiu-jitsu, and very good win for him. I still don't know why this was on the main card. I don't even know if this shit makes a prelim fucking Apex card. I don't even know if it might be the opening fucking fight on the prelim in the Apex, honestly. But look, nonetheless, a very entertaining fight, as with pretty much every single fight on this card. But yeah, a very good, win for Ronaldo Rodriguez. I'm excited to see what he can do in the future. Has a good personality. We'll see what he can do. But the performance was pretty good. Showed a lot of dog. And yeah, Esteban Ribovics gets the finish, and another heartbreaking, absolutely heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching bet for me, where I picked Esteban Ribovics and bet on him to get a KO. Look, I broke down the Ribovics fight, and I couldn't have hit the nail harder. I mean, it was just perfect. I talked really about how Esteban Ribovics extends those combinations and how he's really going to have to do it in this fight. He comes out, extends those combinations, and gets the job done. Like I said, I had a KO in that fight. It would have paid me some good dough. And I'm very upset that it didn't hit, man. I'm very, very upset. That's back to back where it's just like, stabs you, right? But look, man, Esteban, I thought he won that fight. You can say it was a robbery. To me, look, I thought you could have tossed up the first 2 rounds. Personally, I think Esteban won the first. I thought Zellhuber won the second. And obviously, I thought Esteban won the third. But that would have been a 10-8 round if he didn't get dropped by that elbow from Zellhuber. And I really, really did not like the eye poking going on from Zellhuber. It was very, he got him a couple times, I feel like, but really once where it was kind of, stated. And Herzog was over and over telling him about it. And man, I love Jason Herzog. He could have stopped that fight and made me some money. And he also could have taken a point away from Zellhuber because he, told him repeatedly, stop, close the fingers, and he wouldn't do it. And then he poked him in the eye. That could be a point taken away, man. Personally, I think he probably should have stopped in around the second round and told Zellhuber, keep the hands closed or I'm going to, take a point. And He poked him in the eye and nothing happened. But look, Zell Huber to me, I think he's a good fighter. Like regardless, but I thought he's a little bit overrated. And I just don't think Zell Huber moves laterally that quick. And if you watch him, he kind of seems a little stiff to me. And I do think he's a talented fighter. But when I watch long rangey strikers, Ignacio Bahamondes, for example, Israel Adesanya, they're so smooth and move faster and smoother. You know what I mean? And to me, I don't know if it's just a natural thing with him, Zell Huber. He doesn't do it. He's just not smooth with it, and I don't know if that plays into it. But look, Esteban Ribovics is a dog, bro. This dude is a dog, and I thought he won that fight fair and square, and I'm very happy he won that fight because I did pick him to win, and it was a massive underdog, plus 200 almost. And I'm excited to see what Esteban can do, man. Regardless of whatever happens to him, he's always a guy who's going to come to fight and be prepared. I love what I see out of him. I'm really excited to see what he can do in the future. And yeah, Diego Lopez gets the decision win over Brian Ortega. Man, I don't know what is in Brian Ortega's head because this dude, I mean, man, I don't know how he ate that combination. We're talking 10 seconds into the fight. One of the most powerful, nasty counter shots, just an overhand right and I believe it was a left hook, I want to say, just ate it. I mean, he got dropped. Look, he got dropped. But if that's Volkanovski's sleeping on the floor. Like he's not waking up. Ilya, I don't even know if he could take that. I don't know, bro. Max, man, I don't know if Max could have taken that shot. Like that was a serious combination. Diego was touching his neck a lot. I don't know what was going on. The gas tank. Look, I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. It's still a problem. He doesn't always look fresh, and it's because he throws everything into his shots, which obviously can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing. But if he does that and goes out against somebody like Ilya Taporia, somebody like Max Holloway, man, I don't see a path of success there. I really don't. You're talking about two fantastic boxers and strikers. That style is effective. He overswings like crazy. Ilya Taporia, to me, counter strikes him, knocks him out. Max Holloway, to me, beats him to a pulp. But look, if I'm being honest, I saw improvements in Diego's striking. I did. I thought usually Diego looks a little bit sloppy with the fight or with the boxing and the combinations. He looked good. He looked slick on the counters, man. He really good on the counters. And one problem he does do, which people will take advantage of in the future. I'm talking like the Elias. I'm talking like the Max. I'm talking like maybe even a guy like Josh Emmett or Yair. To me, would kick him up the middle. He ducks that head every time. A guy like Ilya is picking up on that before even the fight is even announced. He probably knows that right now because I picked up on it. I've known Diego does that, and he kept doing it. Ortega was calling out, or the corner of Ortega was calling out that uppercut. Ortega to me doesn't have that kind of pop. But when you're going up against a power puncher, Ilya, Yair, if Yair feints something and kicks him in the face, like a front kick, I could see him go down. I could see him have issues with that because that's a bad habit he needs to fix. That can't be happening. Look, but good win for Diego. He wiped the board 30-26 and 30-27. I don't like the 30-26, but look, man, 30-27 Brian Ortega. It's a very impressive performance. I mean, Ortega is built out of steel. He was eating shots like crazy. I don't know how. The guy's pretty old. He cut a shit ton of weight. That guy is different. I love T-City, man, but I did have to pick against him in this fight. A good win for Diego Lopez. We'll see what, the UFC wants to do next. I don't think he's ready for a title shot, but we'll see. So, yeah, Valentina Shevchenko absolutely wipes the floor with Alexa Grasso in a 50-45 decision. I picked Valentina to win. The reason I picked Valentina, I have two, obviously, look, I think Valentina is the better fighter, obviously. She's a great fighter. To me, I knew she'd wrestle in this fight. She made the wrestling look easy. In the striking department, she didn't have to do much. She had to escape a couple submissions that Alexa was throwing off her back, which were crazy, man. She's very dirty off her back. I look at Alexa and I think her striking is a bit overrated. It's not great. She has some pop, whatever you want to say. To me, it's not that good. Like I said previously in my video, I thought Valentina won the second fight. I'm sorry, pretty definitively. And I knew, look, this is the second reason I picked Valentina. Look how intense she is, man. she probably went home and was just after that no shit. She's like, fuck everything, fuck everything. She seems nice on the outside, but on the inside, Valentina's like a fucking killer, bro. Like she was so mad that she didn't win that belt. So I knew she'd come back and she'd get the job done. I mean, there were some scary moments. Don't get me wrong. Alexa was throwing some crazy submissions up, but sometimes I don't like how those fighters accept bottom position. Typically, it's with the guys we see in Brazilian fighters. Typically, they with great jiu-jitsu, they'll accept bottom position and lose a lot of time. Alexa did that. I think if she would have got up to her feet, she could have had more success, especially considering that Valentina has had problems with the gas tank a little bit in their fights. I think if she would have worked her way up, Alexa, I think she would have had a lot more success. But she accepted bottom position way too much. And Valentina took care of business and got the job done. Another pick I got right. I mean, look, I was on fire this card, man. You know me though. That's just what I do. So yeah, let's hop into the next one. Merab Dvalishvili, if you know, you know, but gets the job done. A unanimous decision, absolute masterclass. First thing I want to say, the judges' scorecards were all over the place. I don't know what was up with that. 48-47 is terrible. And then second of all, Herb Dean. I don't know what was going on with you today, pal. You must have, someone must have shit in your coffee or something, or maybe they're pushing O'Malley to be a champion, which is probably the likely thing. But we were hearing let's work when Merab was advancing positions and landing strikes on the ground. I mean, look, if you're telling Merab to work, that's all the fuck he does. He only works. It's all he does. He's always landing strikes. He's always, moving around. And you could say whatever during the Aldo fight. Not here, man. He was controlling Sean on the ground, moving, and landing strikes. I don't get that from Herb Dean, and it's very concerning, to me because I want to see fairness, and that's not fair at all. As for Sean O'Malley, just a pitiful performance. Not gonna lie, like it was a terrible performance. Scared to let his hands go. Walked in the octagon with this fancy ass walkout, talked about how he's gonna knock Merab out, and got completely destroyed. It wasn't even close. And I don't dislike Sean O'Malley. I'm not a fan of his coach. I think Tim Welch is a bit of a clown. But look, O'Malley, he's a great fighter, and I still think definitely could win the belt back, man. I think it's hard for anybody to take the belt off Merab. That dude, he's a superhero, man. He's not even like a real human. He's literally a superhero. He has the best cardio of all time. That's not ridiculous at all. I don't think it is. This guy doesn't get tired. He could fight for 10 fucking rounds at that pace. 15 rounds. Fuck. It seems like he'd go 20 rounds at that pace with no problem. And I could say he's a superhero, but this guy works hard as fuck, man. And I'm happy for him. And he's a fantastic fighter. Maybe Umar's next, but I don't know. I think, but Merab, he dominated, man. I expected this to happen. I expected Sugar to look a little bit better on the feet and maybe stuff a little bit more takedowns, but Merab, like I said, he had some really good entries in the fight, and he dominated, and really good win for Merab. And I'm glad I picked him to win. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me today. I hope y'all boys enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one.